Hey y'all. So today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I know typically on my channel I'm a weight loss focused channel because that's what I've been doing, weight loss and fitness, but I've been a little bit inspired and I just want to try something new. All right, let's go back to the year like 2008 or so. I think it was about then. Twilight is still pretty big. The movies are coming out, the books are popular, everything Twilight is poppin'. Stephanie Meyer suddenly hits the Twilight community with a big old bomb. There's a book. There's a book that's Twilight, but it's not Twilight. This book is called Midnight Sun, and she has written a pretty decent chunk. I don't remember how much of the chunk, but she wrote a pretty decent chunk. And somebody in her team or someone like a friend, I'm a little bit confused. It's been a few years and I'm not gonna look back into the drama. This is all my memory. Okay, I remember, listen, I was very invested. Someone on her team leaked the story and she was pissed. How dare someone leak the story? We all know the story. It's the same thing. It's Twilight, but from Edward's perspective. Honestly, I don't understand why she threw such a hissy fit, okay? But she did. She was very upset. And she said, if you cannot respect my time limits and you can't contain my story and instead you leak it out, then nobody gets it. She's very much pack mentality, right? If one person ruins it, then it's ruined for everybody. She was very upset. And I was also upset because she said, I'm not writing it anymore, but here you go. I'll put it on the internet. However, it did mean that we got to read a little chunk, right? She had the portion that was leaked online. She put it on her website. That was her way of like taking control of the situation. Of course I feel for her. Like if I was working really hard on a project and someone leaked it, yes, I would be upset. However, for her to just be like, if you know, it just like, I don't like group punishment. It's not effective. It's stupid, and I don't understand. So I'm upset. I'm a sad teenager. But I still have Twilight in the movies, and honestly, again, it's the same story. It's the same story just from Edward's perspective. So that's another reason why it's like, why is she so upset? We all know the story. It's not like it's a brand new story. It's the same one. I read it. It's wonderful. I'm really mad that it was leaked. I'm sad in my heart, but I don't give up hope, right? I think surely one day it will be released. Well, turns out one day she did get a little bit of inspiration. She got that spark, the little twinkle in her eye that said, yes, it's time to start writing again. But then wouldn't you know it, 50 Shades of Grey comes out and she's mad again. How dare these people love my story? How dare these people love my story and smut it up, right? Because of 50 Shades of Grey, again, we do not get Midnight Sun. Now fast forward, the year is 2020. We are in a pandemic, all right? Everybody's freaking out. We're all staying at home. We're all upset about it. We're all bored at home. And Stephanie Meyer hits us with a new bomb. She's written Midnight Sun. And it's gonna be released in August. Now, from what I can tell from like a 20-second Google search, she has removed the PDF from her website. However, it is the internet. And I was able to find the first few chapters. So today, we are going to be reading Midnight Sun. Now listen, in all seriousness, I loved this story, okay? I loved Twilight. I was super upset when Midnight Sun was like kind of announced but also canceled, and I was always like, oh man, that really is a bummer. I gave up hope on it. She's so emotional. She's so like blah about things. I just figured it was never gonna come out. Plus, I would not say Twilight is still relevant, right? I haven't read the books in years. I loved them when I was younger. But I will also be honest again and say I'm a little bit excited for this, all right? So, it's been years since I've read Twilight. I loved it when I was younger. I am now an adult. I think it'll be interesting to see how I feel about it. I'm not gonna lie, I've read a couple pages, and so far I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. Not in a, this is a great story kind of good, but just, y'all will know. Y'all will know. How much of the story is online? I don't remember. All I know is it's Twilight, but it's just from Edward's perspective. So it's not like this is anything new. We all know Twilight. Who doesn't know Twilight? We've seen the movies. We've read the books. We know. It's not like there's any major spoilers. Now, on the copy that I found, it says there's 764 pages, but the pages, let me show you, this is like the full page. The pages are rather small, right? So it's not like, so I don't, honestly, I have no idea how long this is, but I think it should be a pretty good chunk until we get to August, all right? So, also, again, before we jump into this, we need to look at the cover of her book. I know it's a pomegranate. There's something kind of icky about it. Does it kind of ick anybody else out? Like, I look at it and I'm like, ooh, ooh. But maybe that's the point. It's like vampires is kind of bloody. I don't know if I would say it's blood. I don't know. There's just something about it that makes me go, ooh. I'm going to just start reading it. Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. Love our girl Stephanie. All right. I'll just read, well, I don't know. How much am I allowed to read this? I don't know how copyright works when it comes, whatever, it's fine. I'll be fine. Okay, so it starts off. He says, this was the time of day when I wish I were able to sleep. High school. Or was purgatory the right word? If there was any way to atone for my sins, this ought to count toward the tally in some measure. Listen, when I was in school, I did not question. Yes, of course, the vampires that are high school age go to high school. But guess what? They're not high school age and they're vampires. I don't understand why they're going to school. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, there's no logic there. Like, why? Because from what I remember in the books, they're ridiculously smart, which makes sense because they're ridiculously old. They've seen a lot of stuff. They can retain a lot of information. And I think they have, like, vampire brains that are super advanced, and yet they're going to high school. Why? Just say you're homeschooled. Like, if there's, like, legal ramifications that you're trying to avoid, just say, hey, I'm homeschooled. He's talking about, oh, there's an ordinary human girl. She's coming. He's reading people's minds. He sees flashes of her in everybody's minds. And he's like, yeah, she just looks basic, but everybody's excited because it's Forks and there's nothing to do here. So he's talking about, like, how he can read minds. The story's kind of introducing that, probably for people who haven't possibly read the book, but, like, we all have read the book. But I guess there's someone somewhere who's gonna be like, oh, Midnight Sun, what is this? And they're not gonna know, and they're not gonna know it's connected to Twilight, or maybe they've never read Twilight. I don't know. So she's setting up the story as one should, and introducing the fact that he can read minds. And he's kind of talking about Rosalie and Emmett. Edward's kind of a jerk, okay? Edward is a jerk, he says about Rosalie. Rosalie was thinking, as usual, about herself. She caught sight of her profile in the reflection of someone's glasses, and she was mulling over her own perfection. Rosalie's mind was a shallow pool with few surprises. He does not think highly of Rosalie. Let's just put that out there right now. I never really felt intrusive hearing Emmett's thoughts because he never thought one thing he would not say aloud or put into action. Personally, I only felt guilty reading others' minds because I knew there were things there that they wouldn't want me to know. So he's kind of saying, it's so funny because I actually read this, it was like a little tweet. Someone commented on this being like, man, Edward's such a jerk. He's saying, like, Emmett is, like, blank in the head. And I can understand that interpretation of it. My interpretation of that is more he wears his heart on his sleeve, or he's more of an open book, right? What he says is what he thinks. He's not lying. He's not deceitful. He just is. He's not trying to hide information. He says, if Rosalie's mind was a shallow pool, then Emmett's was a lake with no shadows, glass clear. So Rosalie, she's thinking about herself all the time. Now, she sounds pretty awful. She's looking at a reflection of someone's glasses and she's thinking, oh, look at me. But also, good for her. She loves herself. We all need a little self-love, okay? But Edward's a little bit judgy. I'm just saying. I'm just gonna say it. Edward's a little judgy, calling her mind a shallow pool. Like, dude, that's your sister. And then he talks about Jasper. He's having a hard time. And then he's like, I don't understand why we're testing his limits. And quite frankly, I don't understand why we're testing Jasper's limits either. If he's going to high school, which he doesn't need because he's old, and a vampire, I don't understand why they're like, all right, let's take Jasper to school. He doesn't really like it, and he has a hard time with this whole, like, vegetarian vampire thing, but, like, let's take him to school anyway because it'll be suspicious. It would be so suspicious if everybody else is going to school but Jasper. Well, then we can't have that. So it's talking about, like, he has secret conversations with Alice in his head. Okay, so Alice will be like, she'll think real hard. She'll be like, Edward, and Edward's like, because he doesn't want anybody to know they're having a secret conversation. That would ruin the whole thing. So he's stone-faced and she's yelling at him in her brain. And she's basically like, is Jasper gonna eat anybody? And Edward's like, that's him shaking his head no. And Alice is like blink once for he's gonna eat people, and blink twice for he's not gonna eat people. And Edward's over here like, so Edward's thinking about like hunting, and like they're kind of she's introducing like the fact that they don't eat people. And it says, it had been 2 weeks since our last hunting trip. That was not an immensely difficult time span for the rest of us. A little uncomfortable occasionally if a human walked too close, if the wind blew the wrong way. And this is what I was thinking, because they hunt, right? They go out and they hunt. I think from my memories of the books, they can eat any animal really, but they prefer carnivorous ones. I think 1, fun, 2, they taste better. I think. Could be wrong. That's just what I remember. And I was thinking, why don't they have like a farm? Like, I get like it's fun to go out and like catch stuff, but if you're trying to keep up this like facade, I don't understand why they don't have like a little farm just in case. Like, if Jasper's having such a hard time, why don't they have like just in case chickens? You know, that would be normal. It would be normal to have just in case chickens.